We just got back from the coolest car show in the world, and we went to see just one car, and we didn't even know it was going to be there.
It was so freaking cool.
So we're going to tell you exactly what that car is and how we ended up seeing it. But first, we want to welcome you back to the Car Coach Reports podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Lauren.
And we're talking all about Monterey Car Week, which is in Monterey, California, and the Pebble Beach Concours, and all of the events that are going on. If you are a person that loves car culture, that loves speed, motorsports history, or if you're even just really interested in the history of the world as cars are involved.
Or even art.
Yes.
Or the social side of it. There's something for everyone.
Yeah, this is the exact combination of speed and style that we get so excited about that we have to tell you about because you need to go to this event.
Yes, it's got to be a bucket list event. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's so expensive. There is budget ways to do it.
Yeah.
And, you can always share a hotel room with friends and you don't have to stay right at the, at the event.
It's fairly easy to get around as long as you give yourself enough time to travel because
you need a car.
Tight. Yeah, you definitely need a car.
Right.
But there's ways to do this. Definitely put it on your bucket list.
Right.
But let's start with you were invited out because you were a judge at the Pebble Beach Concours.
This is
so
my
can you tell us about
first
that?
year judging. I've judged at the Amelia Island Concours, which is run by Haggerty, now called the Amelia. Oh my gosh, it's been like 10 years. I've judged all over the country, but to have this opportunity to judge was quite exciting. Should I tell them what class I judged?
I think that connects to the story about the car that we wanted to see. So let's hold on to that for just a second. You're going to have to hold on to that. Let's talk about this is my first time ever going.
Right. And it was literally last minute.
Ultra last minute.
Like 12 hours beforehand, I call Paul and say, pack your bags. You're going with me.
Well, and I'm really glad that I got to come along because we were able to capture footage and it was easier to travel and have our meetings and see all the cool things we wanted to see. So
a lot of social media.
Going together was a lot easier. But let's start with Motorlux. Motorlux was the first event that we got to.
My favorite event of the entire week is Motorlux. Why, you ask? It is expensive if you're going to buy a ticket. It is worth going because it kicks off the whole week. It sets the tone. From you first walk in, there's like a red carpet, but then they've got airplanes because it's held at the Monterey Jet Center. It's also supported by the Broad Arrow auction. And we love the auctions because it sets, and we'll talk about that in a second, it sets the pace for the values of cars. It's also good for investors.
And it's so much fun to watch.
It's crazy. And the people you see, actually, I saw someone who I've never met, Jason Camisa, and I got to meet him for the first time.
Yeah, ran right into him next to the ugliest car on the floor, the Jaguar Type 00.
It was interesting looking. It looked like a toy.
I won't be shy about it.
All right. But we did see one of the fastest, most powerful cars there, which is the Shelby Super Snake, which was put on by
Snake R.
which is put out by Shelby American. Aaron Shelby was there, who's Carol Shelby's grandson. We've known him for a long time. But we got to see the car, and then we found out it's 400 pounds lighter than a GTD, and it's faster around the Nürburgring.
It's got more horsepower, too.
Yes. So if you're thinking about a GTD...
And it comes in a manual.
Yes. Real car.
Their reservations are going quick, so if you're like, oh my God, I need one, they're called now.
You got to have the bucks for that.
Yeah. The reservation.
I was offered a GTD. I turned it down, partly because I thought it was too heavy and too much. It's a lot too much.
This one, maybe.
This
pretty
one,
cool.
I don't know. I have to get in line.
It's got the cool wing.
It has it's
got all the little canards, little details and everything.
Neat seats and just everything about this was designed to be a performance car, not designed to be something else.
Someone's going to take it to the Nürburgring, and I want to see how fast it
scream the GT. Hey, the Corvette beat the GT.
I hope it does.
Yeah.
As sad as that is for Ford, because I want Ford to do well with their Mustang, I really think that the Shelby's going to kick its butt.
And just to confirm, my daughter's name is Shelby. So, yeah.
You can tell we have a bias.
Yeah, we have, well, not really. We have other cars too, but that's my favorite.
Okay,
but,
so
Motorlux it was all about food, amazing cars. They had a area of cars called the 200 mile per hour club, and it was all iconic cars of the 80s up to today, like a Ferrari F40, an Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale, which was brand new. We hadn't even seen it. Remember, you spotted it. It was, it was in the hangar.
Oh, the Alfa Romeo
Stradale 33.
The 33 Stradale was the original race car from the 60s, and so this is a new prototype, like the concept that is kind of
It was
evokes that
really
style.
nice.
It's absolutely gorgeous. One of the coolest things on the floor, the lights and everything. And then there was another section here from Stuttgart with Love, and it was all Porsches.
Yeah.
963 RSP that Penske owns, one of one, and it's a copy of the race car that's legal for the street. I so wish they made more of these. It's the coolest thing.
Right, and they did America's Wild Horses, 60 years of Ford Mustang, and they had 65 fastbacks, and Shelby's all the way up to the current GTD, which was purple or pink. It was weird.
Yeah,
it was weird.
It was
I
apparently
don't know if I'm going to spend $500,000 on a car, I'm not going to make it pink.
apparently with some paint to sample, because we were talking to somebody from Ford, and they go, "Oh yeah, I remember
West
that
Coast
somebody ordered
Customs,
this."
I think.
Yeah.
No, it was Gelpin. It's Gelpin's
Yeah, I
car.
think it might have been.
Yeah, it's someone from Ford told us.
And then you have the Mercedes Maestro, which is celebrating the Bruno Sacco with standout designs such as the 190e 2.316. This car is so cool, and I want one, and it's so insanely expensive.
So he's not getting one.
No, no.
But beyond the cool cars, they had 3 Michelin star chefs, big plates of paella. If you like high-end food, it was all part of it. That's
And
why the
everything was
ticket price is so high.
All the food was small, so you could try everything, but we also went back for seconds,
Right.
and the food was incredible. The
Right.
drinks were great. There was all sorts
I'm
of
not the biggest
tastings.
drinker, but
We got a Shelby vodka bottle because they
Yeah.
just released that.
yeah, actually my daughter Shelby bought one. But there was all kinds of great foods, Adobe Road wine. I mean, it was just there was so much, even coffee. There was a McQueen coffee. which
That was
I-
actually pretty good.
It was pretty good, but I think the whole idea is that it sets the tone. It's the excitement, the people coming out. They're all dressed up,
Yeah.
beautiful cars, certain special cars, and then
There was even-
planes flying over.
Yeah,
That
oh,
was
yeah.
so cool.
And there were art cars and all sorts of fun stuff. Somebody had turned a 70s Porsche into a stained glass exhibit, which was the coolest
Could
thing.
never do that. That's like a sin in my head. But
Well, it was a junkyard Porsche. But
Well-
so that's setting off the whole week. If you
Right.
can get a ticket to this is
save up for
elegance.
that one.
This is elegance at its peak. Everybody's wearing suits. Everybody's having a good time. Band plays later at night. There's a dance floor.
All
You can
night,
stay there
yeah.
all night long.
Well, till like 11 o'clock. But
Yeah,
But Broad Arrow had an auction going on at the same time. We'll talk about the auction results in a
Yep.
minute because it really is important to you if you own a collector car. If you're thinking about buying one, you're into investments.
even the cheaper collector
Yeah.
cars, this sets the tone for the market because I'll give one example from the auctions and then we'll get back to them later on. There was a Volkswagen limousine, Beetle limousine.
Yeah.
That we had never seen before.
And we're all looking at this going, did someone make this?
Yeah,
This is the
and
weirdest
The
thing.
estimate was like 30 grand.
Yeah, and people were kind of laughing at it because when it went
And
across
it went almost
state-
100.
Oh, it went more than that. It was, I think, was that closer to 300,000?
We'd have to look at it later.
I'll have
But
to look for that. But it
the
was,
whole audience was having a blast.
they were laughing. They thought it was so much fun. And then people were,
There were 3
raising
people
their
in
paddles.
yeah. There was a bidding war over a Volkswagen limousine, and then, a Ferrari F40 comes out and it goes for the expected sale amount.
Right.
But everyone's freaking out about the Volkswagen still.
Right.
Incredible.
So during the week, many of the car brands bring out their vehicles, and they do it intentionally because they know they've got a lot of car people there. They know they've got people that are going to be buyers. They've got dealers. They've got enthusiasts, and there's lots of photography, lots of social media.
It's
so
all walks of life from the car community, all
Yes.
coming together. And whether they're going to official events or there's even events just kind of going on around impromptu stuff, this is car culture at its best everywhere, all the time. You can't
it's
do everything.
overwhelming.
You can't do everything. So we
Yeah.
chose a couple things to do.
So-
And we went to a couple of launches.
Right. And one of them was the Acura RSX. They're bringing that back, but it's all electric. So they did have it on
It's
the.
a crossover.
Yeah. I'm going to leave it at that because I haven't driven it yet, but it's good looking. It's not ugly, but it's.
I may have said some choice words when I found out.
Well, it's an RSX, so you would think in your head it's going to be a car, but it's not. It's an SUV. So Acura, which is the luxury brand for Honda. So moving on, we did get to go to the lawn at Pebble Beach where the cars cross the bridge for the Concours,
Mm.
and they brought 100 years of Phantom.
Yes, all 8 generations.
And it was fantastic. And we have a full walk around of the different cars. Each one had a mark in history,
Yep.
whether who owned it or something that occurred that made that car even more special. And that's on Car Smarts, which is our car review channel.
Yep. Lauren got to interview the CEO of Rolls-Royce
Yep.
Motor
Chris
Cars,
Brownridge, yeah.
the international business.
Mm.
And go over to Car Smarts. We'll add the link down below when it goes live. And you can check out that very, very interesting because Rolls-Royce has been around for so long, and they've had such a mark
And the
on history.
craftsmanship is
Yeah,
spectacular.
It's so interesting how he's got a story for each of the generations.
Mhm.
And while Rolls-Royces may be out of touch, out of reach for a lot of us,
You can buy used ones at pretty reasonable
yeah,
prices.
it's
If
part
you
of the
want.
history. It's a way to get involved in what's going on. These stories are what carries car culture forward.
Right. Before we get to Mercedes-Benz,
Okay.
because something unique happened there.
Mm.
BMW showed us the 8 Series. Now, if you remember the 8 Series, we did a special edition called the M Heritage. They're only going to make 500 of these, which means they're probably all sold.
Right.
And
And this is, again, the brand new 8 Series.
and it's got unique equipment. Especially they're going to call it the M850i X-Drive Grand Coupe. I love how they make these
Not enough
names.
words.
No, there's not enough in that. That's going to be the longest plaque on the
there-
back of the car.
There are some longer ones I can think
Yes.
of.
But
Better than the 1980s.
right, iconic colors will be available. And of course, BMW's individual upholstery was fantastic. The M Sport,
Gorgeous car. Yeah.
carbon fiber. It was really as M stripes, and the stripe went over the hood, or even over the roof.
Over the carbon roof.
In the carbon
Yeah,
of
beautiful.
the BMW stripe. They're going to start at $130,400. And then we also saw that BMW M2 CS.
Yeah.
I liked that.
I like the older one better for style, but
Yeah.
this new CS is so race car with all the little carbon bits. And
Yeah.
I mean, it really does look like a race car for the street. They did a
Those all
fantastic
sell out.
job.
Every M2
The
CS they make
seats,
sells
the
out.
wheels, the ducktail, which I wasn't expecting because I thought those
The
kind of
bronze gold
Oh.
wheels were really nice.
beautiful, beautiful.
I mean, they looked good. But overall, BMW is always putting out performance cars because they're performance driving machines. And as far as pricing on that, if there's any left, again, these are cars that sell super, super quick. I would just say contact your local BMW dealer, I'm sure, or look online and drool with the rest of us.
Yeah.
So
But
we
500, over 500 horsepower in a tiny little car. Well, tiny for
Yeah.
today's standards,
523 horsepower and 560 pound-feet torque.
which is unusual, actually. No more manual transmission,
Nah.
unfortunately. But anyway, and the next one.
Mercedes-Benz. Now, I'm going to let you were very excited to go to this. I was
Very.
like, all right, it's late, it's at night, because these start early in the morning and all these events end late at night. It was freezing outside. I was wearing this Pebble Beach
Freezing in
jacket
the morning, freezing
with
at
his
night,
jacket
hot during
and
the
a
day.
blanket, and I was still freezing.
Yeah, it was a
It
lot.
was ridiculous. But
So-
go ahead,
okay,
Colin.
So we rushed from one event to another. Like I said, it's very tight. You have to pick and choose. Obviously, we were going to a lot of media events, but there's also non-media events going on at the same time.
For
and-
enthusiasts and owners
Yeah.
as well.
So again, pick your events, what you want to
There's
do.
so much to do.
We got invited over to Mercedes-Benz, and we got to see an interview with the director of the Formula One movie.
And you're a huge Formula One fan, as I.
Yes, we love Formula One in this house. And what was really interesting is that it's the same guy that directed Top Gun Maverick, and we love
was
that movie.
Jerry Bruckheimer.
Jerry Bruckheimer and Joshua. Don't quote me. Anyway, it's the same director.
Yeah.
So
So he obviously knew what he was doing because he did Maverick.
listening to
yeah.
him speak about how they made the movie and did everything in their power, especially with the integration of Lewis Hamilton as as the main producer, to make this thing as realistic as possible. It's still a movie. It's still a popcorn movie. Silly things are going to happen. If you're really,
Unrealistic things.
yeah, if you're really, really into Formula One, you're going to be like, what? Well, he would get disqualified for that, but it's fine because it's a movie. It's very fun. The cinematography is amazing. A lot of the crashes are real.
Yep.
Which is crazy, which I did not think that was the case. And they actually did drive modified Formula 2 cars that were digitally dressed up to look like Formula 1 cars.
They had to learn how to drive.
And I have to say, very impressively integrated into the 2023 or 2024 Formula 1 season. I'll have to check my memory
That
on
was
that.
24. But
Checo was still at Red Bull.
well, he's not
Was that-
there now.
Was that 24?
Yeah, he left. He left at the end of 24.
Okay.
We knew he was going to lose his ride.
And Lewis was still at Mercedes, so I think that was
Yeah.
24.
Yeah.
Okay. So then next to them was the concept AMG GT XX, and there was a lot of concepts at Monterey Car Week. Lots and lots of cars.
I don't want to cover a lot of those because I think the thing is concepts are great,
And they're really cool. Go and look them up online.
But-
It's cool stuff.
but the reality of them showing up to what you're really going to see in your driveway or your dealership is highly unlikely. So I don't want to tease you with something you're never going to see.
Yeah.
But the AMG
On the
was,
other side of them, yeah.
was super impressive.
AMG GT that was a special Apex GP, which is the racing team from the movie.
Right.
Integrated like graphics on the side. It was black on gold, like the old JSP cars.
Those things are going to sell if they're not sold out.
They're probably all sold out, honestly. But
They're real. It was beautiful.
I want one just for the livery.
Yeah.
It looks so
You could
cool.
probably do that with a car. It'd just take you a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
So after that, the next day, we obviously did a lot of other things. But the highlight for me, and one of the things I really love to do before we get to this car, because you definitely want to stay for what this car is.
Yes, the car that we went to Pebble Beach to see. Okay, but before we get there, sorry. We're so excited about
We're stringing you along just a little bit, so I apologize. But there's good stuff along the way. The auctions. The auctions are super important. 2025 Monterey Car Week had the second highest total, I think, ever. Modern supercars were just what it was all about. So there are times we've gone there, it's all the old cars. It used to be the Duesenbergs and the Packers and the Pierceros. Those are still selling for pretty good numbers. But what it really was Ferrari. Because the trend for Ferraris this year, we have not seen in probably 10 years. And what it did, it took the top spot as far as auctions. There were the auctions that were there, besides Broad Arrow, which was over at Motorlux, was a Mecum auction. We went to all the auctions. There was Bonhams. There was Gooding, which is now Gooding Christie's. We used to call it RM Sotheby's, I guess it is, but it's now Gooding.
No, RM was there separately, yeah.
Yeah, oh, it's RM was there too. So
we're keeping them all straight in our heads here.
It's Mecum, Broad Arrow, Bonhams, Gooding Christie's, and the RM auctions. So that's a lot. Overall total for the up to Saturday from all the auctions combined, this is how much money changes hands.
Yeah, tons.
I'm going back to my cardboard box, I always say.
Yeah.
$414.2 million changed hands there. That's huge. So if you're an investor and you're watching this, you might want to consider investing in a car. The key is the right car.
Right. And there were cars that were investment cars that did sell for
stupid money.
I guess
I call it stupid money, but it's huge money.
But there was also others that sold for reasonable amounts of money. And so
the average sale price says it all. It's about $515,817 is the average sale price.
Right.
All this is put together by Haggerty. They keep track of all the auctions.
Yeah.
So if you're buying a collector car, you're probably getting Haggerty
and
insurance.
There were cars that sold for way over market value, way under market value. It just depends on what you're looking at and whatnot. But if you're interested in more of the auction results, definitely go and check out each of those auctions. But let's cover some of the highlights.
Yeah, I want to hit the most expensive ones because people want to know.
You want to start with the top 10 sales here?
Well, I can do that. For Mecum, I think their number one selling car was a Lamborghini Miura, a 1969 Miura S Coupe. And about $1.985 million. I have to tell you, I would love to own a Miura. I just don't have that kind of cash.
Absolutely gorgeous.
But they had other cars, and they also have a car coming up in the future, a 1962 Ferrari GTO. It's known as the Bianco Speciale. It was on display there, and it's going to be at Kissimmee, which I will be at the Kissimmee auction.
And that's the biggest auction of the year. We usually go
2 weeks
every year.
Of auction.
It's crazy.
Mecum is, as far as I'm concerned, is a great place
it might just
to buy
be
a car.
The biggest auction in the world, just because of the length of time, the amount of cars that go across the stage.
Right. So if you don't have huge money, you don't have $1 million to spend, you're thinking, I just want a nice car, something I can drive. I would say Mecum Auctions is your place to go. They have this super high-end cars, but they also have very reasonably priced cars that you can buy.
Yeah, we saw a great 280Z that went for a very reasonable amount, and it just depends on what you're into.
Right.
But there's lots of... And Mecum does have the widest range of available cars.
Right.
And then you get into Broad Arrow, Bonhams, Gooding, and RM, and these are the big money auctions.
Right.
Where oh, yes, we'd like to start the bidding at $5 million. Would you please $6 million? Thank you very much. Would you like to go for $7 million? And it is that slow.
Right.
But
it's not the hey, bidder.
It's a different kind of drama that really gets you.
It's good.
Us, we love it.
They also speak multiple languages. So you might have someone from Italy bidding and someone from Germany or someone on the phone. So we'll start with Broad Arrow since we talked about it at Motorlux.
Yep.
Cumulative total was $49.8 million sold. That's impressive.
76% sell-through rates. Very impressive.
But the average price of their car is lower at $389,133, and their top-selling car was a 2005 Maserati MC12 Spider, sold for $5.2 million.
There was actually
that was a really
three of those in town
that
during the week, which is just insane as it is. And then we have Bonhams here, and they sold $44.2 million. Even 96% of their cars sold.
That's huge. They only had less than 100 cars, so
Well,
it's easy to have a high sell-through rate with less vehicles.
Yeah, their top-selling car was a 2020 Bugatti Divo Coupe for $8.5 million.
That's
Big
crazy.
money.
Yep.
And then we go on to Gooding.
Gooding's Christie was located at Pebble Beach. So if you are going and you get into Pebble Beach or you get there earlier in the week, you can walk on and there's no fee. If you want to walk through the pre-sale cars, they like you to pay to go through. But Gooding's is the official auction house of Pebble Beach. They've been doing it for like 21 years, I believe.
21st year.
Yeah.
There you go.
And they're the highest grossing sales to date. Was from this past weekend, over $127 million. So that was their cumulative total was $163.8 million. They had a pretty good sell-through rate, about 85%, a little softer than some of the others. Average sell price is $1.2 million. So you're talking about different kinds of cars that sell at a higher price. Their number one seller was a 1993 Ferrari F40, but it was an LM GTC coupe for $11,005,000.
And then, okay, so
I can imagine someone going, 11 million, and the paddle goes up and he goes, I'm going to add $5,000 more.
Well, they were fighting
to win it.
They were fighting for every tiny little bit. And we did hear at some of the auctions, they were like, I'm sorry, we're not going to bid in $5,000 increments.
Yes.
I need $10,000 increments or more.
We did see that.
Yeah. So, and there was even instances where people jumped the price really big, like by $1 million when other people weren't.
Well, it depends what it is.
All right. So the number one selling car was a brand new.
This was so cool.
I didn't realize that these are pretty rare, but we did see a lot of them at Pebble Beach because, of course, we did.
But this car is a car you want to see, at least in photos, because I thought it was really impressive.
The 2025 Ferrari Daytona SP3 Coupe for $26 million. It was a charity lot.
That's why it went so high. I think it's someone's laundering money at that point.
Well,
you have $26 million to spend.
Someone needs a huge tax.
Someone needs a huge tax break, or you're hiding money because it's a great place to hide cash. Right. But back to the reasonably priced cars.
Okay,
that car was reasonable.
Okay, the actual car that did not sell as a charity lot, but was the highest seller.
I would love to have this.
Was a 1961 Ferrari 250 GTO short wheelbase California Competizione Alloy Spider, which is exceedingly rare.
We saw
$25.3 million at Gooding.
Gooding Christie's had $25 million car. That's amazing.
That's crazy.
They knew it would be big. They had it in center stage when you first walked in. You could see it right there. And then if you get down to some more reasonable cars, we talked about the F40 that sold at RM Sotheby's. There was an F50 coupe that sold at Bonhams for $8.5 million. It's amazing that these Ferraris have gotten so expensive. And when you look at the full Ferrari, the list, there was only, there were only 2 cars in the top 10 that weren't Ferraris.
Yeah. The Bugatti, Mercedes.
The 500K, I can't even say that. What is that?
Wetware.
It's a
Were you pointing? Oh.
I never even heard of the Sindelfingen. I guess it is special
Sindelfingen.
I know
it's a Mercedes 500K Sindelfingen Roadster. The special roadster.
$5.3 million. I hope you're laughing at us because you should.
Also, note on earlier we said the Ferrari F40 sold at Gooding. It sold at RM.
Oh, there must have been one at Gooding.
Just a note
well.
there. No, it's just written funny.
Okay.
But that's there. Anyway, so let's move on to...
One last thing. Modern supercars make up a large portion of the cars that are sold, an increasingly important portion of Monterey consignments. However, after a large number of exotics went through last year, like Lamborghinis and all kinds of unique cars, this year was all about Ferraris and Porsches. And it's important to note that if you are thinking about a car, you don't have to buy in that price point. It's great to hear the numbers. It's great to go to the auctions. It's great to watch them on YouTube.
You can buy a collector car for $20,000.
You can buy one for less. You can buy one for $10,000.
Yeah, you can look in other areas.
So do your research. Check with places like Haggerty. Greatest place to look for stuff. They'll tell you the values of cars, what's worth buying and what's not. And, I get people asking me all the time, I want to buy a Mustang and I've got 10 grand. It's like, you're looking at a Fox body, which is like a 79 to 83.
Or go look at an MG.
Right. But those are cars that are fun. You can drive them, you can enjoy them, you can work on them. And so don't think that buying an exotic car is a good choice, because to insure those cars is also very expensive.
Very, very expensive.
Yeah. All right, now.
So the big highlight of the whole weekend, and
which is why we went.
We are 4 days in now for all of the stuff that we've been talking about.
I asked him every day, you card out? No.
And
we were by Sunday night.
We were hearing cars going past our hotel room and
all night long.
Yeah. But so the highlight of the entire weekend happens on the 5th day for us, because we got there early.
Right.
And that is the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance, which is right on the Pebble Beach Concours, right on the water. Beautiful. And we decided to
cold.
go out for
This is
the
him.
Dawn Patrol.
I've never done this. He wanted to do Dawn Patrol.
Well, okay, so
Tell him what Dawn Patrol is.
I heard about this on, I think, like Wednesday or Thursday. Just
I
somebody
usually
somebody
pass for
mentioned
this
it.
exact
You're
reason.
like, oh yeah, this Dawn Patrol thing. What's Dawn Patrol? Well, it is getting out there at 5 a.m. in the dark, and they hand out coffee, which is really nice.
Mind you, we got up at 3:30 in the morning, left the hotel at 4:45.
We had to pack because we were going to go to the airport right after the concourse.
Right. By the time we got to parking our car, which was quite a distance out, and walking, it was 5:15 in the morning.
Yep. And the sun wasn't going to rise for another hour, so we hung around.
It was very cold.
Ran into a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Apparently, a lot of people do Dawn Patrol.
Patrick Dempsey was there.
Yeah.
Tommy Kendall, if you're into racing.
Yeah,
Justin Bell.
Lots of people from the brands, friends of ours that are journalists, photographers, from
judges. A lot of us were there.
Instagram. Yeah, judges showed
Because
up.
I had to be at the judges meeting at 6:30 in the morning, so I figured, all right, well, I'm here.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to go.
So, I would never do it again. But
we did fight for a hat.
It was a great experience to do at least once, because to say that I was there to watch the first cars roll onto the field in order.
Yeah.
And you see them, they pull up, they get their packet, they shake hands, they come through, they know this is a huge event. This apparently started as a bunch of friends who wanted to show up early to see the cars roll on the field, which we do at Amelia, but they don't do it first thing in the morning. They do it like a little bit later into the morning, like 9 o'clock, a little bit more reasonable hour.
Normal time, yeah. Well, Haggerty's taken advantage of this.
Yeah.
They hand out hats.
And Haggerty now sponsors the Dawn Patrol, and they have branded hats.
Right, branded hats that say Dawn Patrol on the back, and they hand out donuts and coffee because they know you're out there freezing.
Yeah.
But it was so we had to fight. They only hand out a certain amount of hats, so people fight for them. So I fought for one.
Yeah, and thank God we got me a jacket. Shout out to Grand Prix Originals, because they have really, really cool automotive themed jackets,
We'll put a link
and
in the
shirts
description.
and shoes and bags.
Yeah.
And we got to talk to the owner, and he was super cool.
He's a car guy.
Yeah. So I was nice and warm. So we did the event. That was really, really cool. You went off to your judges meeting. I took a nap.
And I got to have breakfast with Mike Wolf, who's from American Pickers. Great guy, by the way. But it is an honor to be asked to be a judge. So there's different kinds of judges. There's honorary judges, which is typically the ones you see on stage when they announce them. Those are people from brands, or there's celebrities like Mike Wolf, one of them.
Drivers,
Racing drivers.
Christensen.
Yeah, but they're usually people of noted name like that. Then there's regular judges, and we don't go on the stage. I got to judge the 427 Cobra class, which was cool.
And you have a history with Cobras.
I do. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But the other three judges were really Cobra guys. One guy worked at Ford for decades. The other guy, Drew Serb, if you're into Cobras. Hi, Drew. Great guy. And Dave Wagner, another great guy. Real Cobra guys. Own Cobras, no Cobras. So it was that. Thankfully, they knew me. Otherwise, you have to do the who are you thing. But it was good. We started talking.
Well, you've been a member of the Shelby Club
since 1982. Don't do the math. I was young, really young.
And you've owned a Cobra, 2 Cobras.
2.
So you know really what you're talking about. So what was the experience like? And we'll get
you
to...
have no idea when you go to this judges meeting what to expect.
And before you go on, this gets to the car that we wanted to see. But first, so what was it like actually judging?
Well, it was interesting because I didn't know what to expect. To be asked to be a judge at Pebble Beach, to me, is a bucket list. To say, wow, like, I got asked. I mean, it's very difficult to get into a lot of these judges. Local judging, easy. Amelia Island took a while to get in. You have to play the shadow judge game. But
I've been a shadow judge for 2 years at Amelia Island.
You should be a full judge this year.
Hopefully.
But the whole thing with judging, and they always give me exotic cars, or they always give me the classes that nobody wants to judge. They give it to Lauren. You know, what else?
Like the Invictas, which was the...
Thank God I didn't get the Invicta class.
That was the title car of the concourse this year, which is super, super rare. Very cool. They're
you
old
have to know.
things.
You have to do your research.
Yeah.
So we got 6 cars. We went through the cars. There were some that were really nice. And every single owner was a noted owner. If you know about Cobras, you knew every single owner. The winner, however, deserved it. It was an amazing race car.
You were saying that the top 3 were so close.
That we literally had to be picky, like, that steering wheel is over-restored, so we're going to take a half a point off.
It's the kind of thing that nobody would ever think.
No.
But
I
there
mean,
has
we
to
were
be
getting
a
to, like,
winner.
you know, the little shrink wrap that's on the wiring? That might not be exactly right. It was really getting to, we had to come up with a way to separate 6 great cars. So the winner was a 1965 Cobra that had race history, but it only raced about less than a dozen times. but the fact is it was original driveline. It was really all original car. Most of these cars were destroyed over the time. It won. It was owned by legendary motor car Peter Clute, and that was great. And the second place car was a really nice street car, just beautiful car, well restored, not over restored. Again, we had to take off a half a point for a steering wheel,
Yeah,
which in my brain is like, really? Because they both look like they were the same.
Yeah, and you can see the pictures here that I'm putting up of all the different
Yeah.
cars, and they're just
Right.
all of them were absolutely incredible.
And the third one was the Essex Wire car, which has a ton of history and had been rebodied at least 4 times. It had multiple drive lines in it, but it had a really interesting history, and it was a very noted, very significant history. And the guy who owned it came from Monaco. Very cool car. And if you follow Cobras and you follow the racing, Carroll Shelby, that car really was a spectacular piece, but it wasn't restored as well as the other two. The other cars were great. So I finished judging, and you come up and talk to me because he was taking photos
So I was
and
taking
blew me away. And this is the car that we went to see.
So we did not know that this car was here.
Right.
We have personal history with this car.
A lot of it.
Not only that, but it was within 10 feet of you at many points.
See it.
Okay. So I send some pictures to my dad. And I
This
say,
is my son because everyone thinks he's my husband. This is my son.
so I send some pictures to dad because you both raced this car.
Yes.
That's your first hint. And he says, wait a second.
He restored it too.
Yeah, go back and take pictures of that white car. And I'm like, okay. So I take pictures of it. I don't recognize it at all.
Because it's not the color it was when we owned
Yeah,
it.
and you can see pictures here of what it looks like right now. And he says, what's the chassis code on that? Because that's how we identify a lot of these classic cars.
But you have to know the vehicle identification
Yeah.
number because they weren't like 17-digit numbers now.
Yeah.
They're all CSX, Carroll Shelby, X is for racing, and then the number. It's either a 2 for 289 or a 3 for
And this
427.
is how we track a lot of classic cars if you're not familiar.
It protects the history.
Yeah, this is how people are able to say, okay, this Ferrari, that Aston Martin, this Chevelle, whatever, this chassis code that's engraved into the body, into the chassis, that tells you that the car is actually that car. So he says, go back and take a picture of CSX2051.
It's a 51st car built by Carroll Shelby as a 289. Well, it's a 260 car. It's a 289. It's a V8 engine.
Somebody upgraded it to the bigger 289 engine before you guys owned it.
Right. We bought it out of a collection of father had passed.
Yeah. So
There's a story to this.
So at the time that they raced it, it was black with yellow stripes.
Well, after we restored it,
You restored it.
and with black with yellow stripes, and it had the number 51 on the side for the 51st car.
Yeah. And here's a picture of what it looked like. And so I take pictures of it. I don't think anything of it. And my dad sends me back a picture. He goes, this is a picture of what it used to look like in the black. And I go, wait a second. I know that car. I know that car. Wait a second. I know that car.
You blew me away. You could have knocked me over with a feather.
I was so surprised. She was still judging. I called my sister and I'm like, Shelby, you'll never believe what car I'm standing in front of. She goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, hold on. I got to go tell mom. She just got done. So I rush over to you and I just say this. CSX 2051 is here.
And I go, what? It's a 289 car. We're judging 427s.
Right. So
But there were two other cars next to it that were show only.
Mm.
One of them was owned by a pretty famous guy, Bruce Myers.
And that was the first Shelby. Well, it could have been one of the first 3 cars ever built.
Right.
Because Carroll Shelby was a very clever marketer. And
Yes, he was.
He had 3 different cars that he painted 3 different colors that he changed the colors on many times. And he called all of them
the first car.
So nobody knows
Good
for
marketing.
real which one's the first car, but one of those first cars was sitting there on the field.
But the one next to it was white. And it had a hard top on it because Cobras have to race in Europe with hard tops.
And it had a 17 rondelle on the door.
Which caught me off guard.
Well, did you recognize the rondelle? Did you know? Because you know.
No, the hood scoop. The hood scoop.
Really? That's
the
what took
car
off.
came with Weber's when it was raced back in 1963 because 63 was the first year for it.
So Dad had said that the original configuration for that car when it raced was white with the 17 rondelles.
See, that I didn't even
Oh,
know.
okay. So then you didn't know that. Okay.
But it had Weber's on it, so it wouldn't clear those short hoods, so they put a long hood on it, and it's the only Cobra built to this day with a stupid long hood,
Yeah.
which always drove me crazy because it didn't look right. It made it look like a kit car, but this long hood made it a significant car because they needed to clear the Weber's. It raced at Sebring in 1963 and did not finish. So it had race history, but not significant race history. So when we got it, we said, we're going to race it in vintage in SVRA, and it has a medallion,
Yep.
which means it has legitimate history. And I'll let you tell the rest because this is where it
This is my
gets. This
favorite-
is where it gets
So
really
this is
fun.
my favorite story. If you'd like to hear the full story, please go to VinWiki, and you'll hear Lauren talk all about that.
We'll put a link down
And
below.
yeah, put a link in the description. It is my favorite story. I was born in December of 1993, and this was Labor Day of 1993.
September,
So you were 6 months pregnant,
closer to 7.
closer to 7,
Yeah.
and this was her last race of the season.
I wasn't telling anyone. People in the race series knew I was pregnant.
Yeah, her friends that she was racing with,
I said, if you don't like it, I said, pass me wide or let me pass.
and nobody's gonna
it's
crash.
vintage. It's
Everybody's-
vintage race. No one's going to hit you in
But
that
also,
car.
no, everybody's driving old cars that are
Of
expensive
value.
to repair. They're valuable. They have race history. Nobody's going to crash out their car just for one place. There's
Right.
no prize money.
No, you get a medallion.
You get a medallion.
Yeah.
So she's racing with me. The fuel pump fails.
Well, there's a story before that.
Oh, before that, okay.
ESPN was walking around when they first
ESPN
started these street
2, right?
2 was called The Deuce. I'm dating myself.
Yep.
But they were coming around. They had just come online and they were recording vintage races. And I thought, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So they came by and they go, oh, girl racing a Cobra. That's kind of cool. And I go, and I'm pregnant. And they're like, what? Get the cameras. So that's how I got on. So I pulled, I kind of played the game. No one knew I was pregnant who ran the series. And I actually am very good friends with the son who, Henry Payne, who writes for the Detroit News.
Mm.
But his father is one of the original founders. So I went and raced at Lime Rock, and the car didn't finish. The fuel pump died. And so the cameras come running over after the race. What happened? What happened? I said, the fuel pump died. It was bucking and kicking. And the end of the show, which I do have the footage for, it's on VHS
I
tape,
need to see that.
says, was the car bucking or kicking, or was it the baby? And that's how they ended the show. So I got a portion in the show, and then, of course, the end.
And then the officials run over and they say, wait a second, we heard that you were racing pregnant. That's not allowed. It's not in the rules.
And I go, where is it in the rules? It's called the GCRs, or General Competition Rules, which at the time was a book like this thick. I
It's
said,
probably
where?
I'm thicker now.
Yeah, well, I go, well, it's all online.
Mm.
Where in the book does it say you can't race while pregnant? And they looked at each other and went, it's going to be there it was Monday. It's going to be there tomorrow morning.
Mm.
So fast forward, my husband's racing prototypes in Europe, and there's a lot of downtime while they're testing. He was a factory driver for a couple different teams, and we're just standing around BSing, and I said to Tony Ave, who I said, how long have you been on the competition board? He goes, since the 90s. I go, really? I go, I have a question for you. Now, mind you, he's already in his 20s at this time, so this is way down the road.
Years ago, yeah.
And I said, there was some girl who was racing a Cobra or some kind of car. I played dumb. And she was pregnant. And they made a rule because of that. And he looks at me, he goes, I do remember that. I go, you do? I go, do you remember her name? He goes, I do not. I just remember it was an emergency meeting and we had to put in the supplements immediately. It was like an emergency thing. I said, that girl was me. I could have knocked him over with a feather. So he's been racing since he was in my stomach. And he raced cars too. So.
And then you guys sold that car 2 years after then,
Right.
after the race.
We needed to pay for our business not this business, but another business to expand.
And then
that car changed hands multiple times.
30 years later.
Yep.
Almost to the week.
Yes. It would
'Cause
be Labor Day
I
weekend.
think next weekend or the weekend after.
Depending on when we're recording this and you're watching,
Yeah.
it is
Labor
pretty
Day
darn
weekend.
close.
Very close.
Because
Almost 30 years later.
No, more than that. 32 years later.
32 years later. 32 years since the incident, but 30 years since I'm now reunited with this car.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
And she finds out. And both of us are standing there like, I can't believe this is the car.
And like,
This
people
is the
were
car.
asking us, why are you so excited about this car? So we told them the story.
And again, here's what
It
the
was
car
mind-blowing.
looks like now, and it does not look like how it used to look like. So there was no way for us to know that the two cars were the same, except for the chassis code, because again,
And that's
we
what's
track
good.
this stuff, and that's scoop.
Yeah. But it was the car, and we went back to
And
that
apparently
vehicle
it's gone-
multiple times.
It's gone over and raced in different series.
Goodwood,
it,
too.
It raced at Vintage Spa and all sorts, which is fantastic. And we tried to find the owner, and he never showed up. But we got a picture next to the car. Here's a picture of us next
Yeah,
to
that
the
was
car.
kind of cool to be
This-
reunited.
Yeah, 32 years later, here we are again.
That was wild.
You and me,
And the chances that you went, because
Yeah.
it was last minute that he went, because
very last minute.
I was supposed to go with my husband, and he couldn't make it last second,
Yeah.
and he called me at noon before we left, like less than 24 hours out, and said, you got to take Paul. I'm like, okay. So to
It
wrap
just
up,
happened to work out like
yeah,
that.
it's
but
wild.
It's
But it
incredible
was meant
that
to be that we
yes.
went back and saw
So
that car again.
we didn't know that this car was there, but the fact that it was there is just the craziest coincidence in the world. And that's why we said at the beginning, it's like we went to go see this car, but we went to go see the Cobras.
Right. We
We
had
did.
no idea.
That was the intention. She was judging the Cobra, or she was hoping to judge the Cobras. It was the Cobra anniversary that was going on. We wanted to go see that.
Yeah.
The fact that that car happened to be there is the cherry
And
on
it'll
top
never
of
be
this
there
cake.
again. It'll never be there again.
And it just made the whole weekend really worth it for us because and to
There
talk
was
about
so
the,
much to do
to
that.
talk about the rest of the concourse really quickly.
Right. We should talk about the winner of the concours.
We should. So let's
Because
talk.
you won't know what it is, so we'll show you pictures. There was also racing going on, Laguna Seca.
Oh
had
yes.
spectacular racing. He had a great time. For me, it was the judging. This is icing on the cake. I'll be back judging again next year, so I guess I did pretty good.
Yeah. So there was at the concourse there was oh, by the way, yes, first you mentioned Laguna Seca.
Yes.
There's a huge track event for multiple days going on at Laguna Seca. There's all sorts of exhibitions of new cars and old cars, things that you've never seen before, out there racing with real racers that go on the track
Like
and,
real no
and
names.
actually race against each other on
Frank
it's
Katie. I
fantastic.
mean, there was.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and they have all sorts of little exhibits going on with really, really awesome cars. It's
It's
for
a
the
lot.
motorsports part of it, it's amazing, and you should do that. For
Right.
the concourse part, they had all sorts of old Phaetons. They had Formula One cars. They had Ferraris, lots of Ferraris, Ferrari race cars, Ferrari street cars, rare Ferraris. They had a whole exhibit for Land
I was
Rovers.
just going to say, Land Rover had
They
a
had-
beautiful exhibit. Last year they did the Queen's cars. This time they did some beautiful Land Rovers.
They had a section for like weird concept cars that were
They
like,
do that
from the
every year.
60s,
They just kind of do
and
that.
they were super cool, and I'd never seen most of them ever.
And cars you've never heard the name of. And
Yes.
you're like, who?
Well, Invicta was the one that caught me off guard because they were the title car for the event, and they were on the poster,
Right.
which I'll show a picture here of what the poster looked like. And that was this is always pretty normal with these concourse that we go to. They have really, really old, these beautiful like saloons.
Brass era.
Yeah.
Just spectacular cars. If
then
you're
they
not
have,
into
like-
cars, go for the art of the car, the
Yeah.
styling, the beauty. I mean, there's what they call coach work. So you would go and buy an Espana Suiza, and then you would say, I want it to look like this with these fenders and this car. I mean, it was an
That's how
experience.
cars used to be built.
Well, the only one that builds like that today is Rolls-Royce.
That's true.
You pick what you want, every single little detail, they'll make it the way you want.
And we do talk about that in the interview on Car Smarts, which again will be linked below.
Right.
So let's talk about the winners.
Okay, the winners. Let's see who's going to get this said right. That's going to be the
If
question.
you want help.
Yes, I think I'm going to ask you. Congratulations to the winner of the 2025 competition is...
It is the 1924 Hispano Suiza H6C 9.
Okay.
Not,
I caught him on that.
it's New Sport Astra.
Yeah.
Is
Torpedo.
Torpedo. That was the name of the best of show for the 74th Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance.
Right. Now, there were 229 cars there, including 55 international entries from 22 different countries. We saw some pretty cool cars with like
All sorts of
license
crazy
plates on them from I don't know what
Oh,
country.
yeah, people were shipping in their cars from everywhere, and there's
Right.
little plaques that say what the car is
Yeah.
and
Where they're from.
and where they're from, and who owns it.
Some of them said
represents it.
collection. Yeah.
And then there's a booklet as well that gives you a short history,
Right.
so you can actually kind of follow along. And there's usually the owners or the handlers around, so you can talk to them. and
There are
get
handlers.
stories.
Mhm.
And I talked to a couple of owners.
They're so passionate.
There's the Moretti's, the tiny little Italian car.
Oh, you had a
4
great
cylinders.
day.
Oh my God, the guy was so passionate. He was telling me all about this car I'd never heard of before, never seen it in my life.
He's probably excited that people were asking.
Oh my God, he was so excited to talk.
So,
And
yeah.
but yes, this is the whole experience.
Right.
This is
And this is
seeing
why
stuff
you
that you will never ever see again in your life. They're
Never.
hidden in collections in the places you would never expect.
right 174 U.S. entries
Yep.
from 31 states, and that pulled
22
on the
countries.
and pulled onto the competition field. Because I judged the 427 Cobras, I spent most of my time there. We did walk the rest of the field. However, the reason for the Pebble Beach Concours is there is a charity component, and it's really important. So for 2025, the charity donations surpassed $4 million, and that benefits nearly 100 local nonprofits focused on youth education, impacting the lives of more than 10,000 children annually in Monterey County. So that's
Yep,
how
and
this all
and
started.
they had booths set up and everything, so you could get more information. And they're doing a lot of great charity work, and it's so
Right.
wonderful that these people that have so much money to throw around at these events and these cars, they're still
They're
being
giving back.
generous. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and so the next year they're moving Pebble Beach Week or Monterey Car Week a week earlier. So it'll be the second week because a lot of people have their kids going back to school.
Well, yeah.
And they want more children to go.
So it was the end of the concourse, and their kids are going back to school the next day, and
It's
we had to
brutal.
beat the traffic and get the heck out.
Right. Otherwise, traffic is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But August 16th of 2026, if you're watching and you're thinking about going, if you live near there, you know,
Mark your calendars, get tickets.
I would say if you're saying I can't do this because of budget reasons, you can watch the whole thing online on YouTube.
Almost every event has insane amounts of
Absolutely.
coverage. Plus, there's official feeds for almost
Right.
everything.
If you can't go or you're in another country or on vacation,
Yep.
we turn on the feed. And my husband couldn't go and he watched the whole thing.
Everything's streaming on
He
YouTube.
was saying, "Did you see this? Did you see that?" I'm like, "Where was it?"
Yeah.
So we were getting directions from someone who was watching. But if you do decide to go, you can share a room. There's budget ways to do it. You don't have to stay super close to anything.
We were seeing people with sports cars parked up at hotels and Airbnb.
People came in minivans.
Every single inch of Monterey was covered in people that were there for the event.
We met somebody who drove up for the day who lived in LA.
Yep.
They came up they spent one
I
night.
saw somebody that I recognized from when I lived in Seattle.
Oh, gee, that's a long drive. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right, you did.
Yeah.
He's on YouTube
And
as well.
that's a long drive too.
Yeah. So I mean, all this, the whole goal of us telling you about this event is not to say we went and you didn't. The idea is to say, if you're a car enthusiast,
You can see the excitement on
you
our
can
faces.
see everything
Or hear our
online.
voice if you're listening.
Right, you can see it all online.
High second screen people.
Yeah. You can also, of course, go there if you can. But if you're thinking about the investment side, there's a piece of that for you. If you're here for the social side of it and you're all about the Instagram, the TikTok, the YouTube, all that stuff, you can do that too. There's so much to do and there's so much coverage that you can't, even if we had a team of 8 people, and I know people, other
It would
outlets
be
that
impossible to
had
cover everything.
multiple people there and they couldn't cover everything. There's a lot to do. And so the whole idea is we want you to share this with you. And the reason that we went to Pebble Beach to see one car that we didn't expect to see.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Absolutely incredible event. Again, put it on your calendars for
Yeah.
next year. It's August 16th, 2026 in Monterey, California, at the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance and the whole of Monterey Car Week. Thank you so much for listening to this little walkthrough that we did here.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
And
Please-
hopefully we run into you next year at the
Yes.
event. If you recognize us, come up and say hi.
a lot of people did. That was wild.
That was cool. Oh, hey, I know you. That was cool. That was really cool.
That was pretty cool. Put your comments down below. If you think we missed anything that you wanted us to see, we couldn't do it all.
Yep.
We did a bunch of stuff with Porsche things too, so that was just so overwhelming.
And again, check out the links down
Yeah.
below for the different videos that we've linked, and also check out all of our socials down there where we've posted a lot of pictures, and we'll continue to post more stuff as we kind of
Share
sort
this.
through everything and share it with
Your
some
car
friends.
friends
Yes.
who will be like, "Oh, I want to go." Well, at least you'll have a baseline of what to do.
Yep.
Can't do it all.
Hopefully this will be like a mini guide for you to kind of get an idea of some of the
Right.
things going on and plan it out for yourself.
If you'd like to learn more, subscribe, click that notification bell, and you'll get notifications of all the news that's here on Car Coach Reports. All the car reviews live on Car Smarts, and we're posting those 2 days a week. All kinds of brand new 2026 models, and of course, anything that's older, I leave it up for you. So if you're buying a used car, you'll get your information there as well.
Yep. Thank you so much for watching. You can follow me at PaulFix3 I post primarily on Instagram.
And I'm everywhere at Lauren Fix, literally every platform. If you'd like to support our channel, you can buy us a cup of coffee or you can buy a super for us, and we appreciate all the support. And thank you so much for all the kind comments.
Yes, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.